your Two Dads show. Ooh, JJ and Deacon, they're the ones in the know. Subscribe quick, the Squid Monster's on the way. Inspire with us, tomorrow's news today. Tomorrow, yeah.
Like Australia asking to free Julian Assange after now 12 years. Also, we got a story about Putin sending Joe Biden a Valentine. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the show. This is rumble.com/JJW. And it's also all in the description below. There's other links. If you're watching on Rumble, thanks for hanging out and watching on Rumble. Make sure to hit like, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, free speech is almost dead anyway. So, whatever. Hang out for a little while.
Yeah.
Whatever.
That's cool.
Good morning, everybody. I'm JJ, that's Deacon. We're your Two Dads. We meet every single morning at exactly 8 o'clock in the morning to drink coffee and talk about news, politics, weather, not weather. Well, honestly, we talk about the weather. It's like probably more than we need to. And yeah, exactly 8 o'clock. Although your watch is probably wrong.
Yeah.
So,
if it says like 8:06, that's probably, you might need to check your watch.
Check your NTP server.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's right. Good morning, sir. How was your Valentine's Day with your wife and your girls?
It was, let me tell you, it was great.
Excellent.
It was an unusual thing. So, my kids are adopted.
Right.
That. Okay. The birth mother's birthday is February 14th.
Oh,
Her birthday is Valentine's Day.
Okay.
And she came over at 6 o'clock in the morning and played with the kids for like an hour. And it was super great. We love her. She's like,
y'all
like my
y'all
little
have a
sister.
good relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So the kids got to see their birth mother on their birth mother's birthday. And then they got to exchange candy with all kinds of kids. And then dad took all of it away. I was like, I'm not giving you candy. Are you crazy? You psychopath. And then I had lunch with my wife. And then we had
That's
awesome. Not a very big disagreement last night.
Oh. Well, that's awesome, man.
It was a good day. It was a good day.
Ashley asked me at the last minute if I wanted to go and have a little date with her because she was taking our son and his girlfriend to dinner last night. So I was like, sure. When she said that, I was like, yeah, absolutely. Let's go have a little date. And so she made like reservations at that time, or she didn't make reservations. She put us on a wait list at that time for the restaurant that we wanted to go to. So we go and drop off Alex and his girlfriend. And then we go over to our restaurant, which is 4 or 5 blocks away. And we sit there in the parking lot for an hour and 15 minutes waiting on the little thing to go off. And so we get out of the car, we go inside. Ashley had to use the bathroom. I asked, I was like, how long, much longer? And she said, and she goes, probably about 50 minutes. We had already been waiting an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh my.
So we went back out to the car, and that's when Alex texted us. He's like, we're done. Will you take us to the mall? So we drive back, pick him up, take them to the mall, drive back to our restaurant, and still sit in the parking lot for about 10 minutes before our little thing goes off. But we go inside. We have a wonderful meal. We had a wonderful time. It was a good time. So I hope everybody had a good day. A day that celebrates initially the initial celebrations of Valentine's Day was a pagan fertility festival for animals. It wasn't a fertility festival for humans. It was a fertility festival for the sheep and the livestock and the goats in the Roman times. It's celebrated between February 13th and February 15th.
Yeah.
Now, whatever you tack onto that to celebrate your holidays, fine. But I'm just telling you where the brass tacks, where the concrete foundation started.
Celebration of St. Hershey's, the celebration of St. Hallmark. You just add them all on there.
Hey, we're celebrating some of the greatest pieces of music this week with our songs of the day. If you go over to our Discord server above JJ's head, you will go down and you'll see Deke's playlist. I'm a 30-year DJ. These pieces of music this week I consider perfect masterpieces of music. And it may not be the originals because like the first day was an acoustic version of In Memory of Elizabeth Reed. Today's and tomorrow's are my number 2 and number 1 favorite pieces of music probably of all time. And today's, I only gave you half of it. Okay.
Okay.
I only gave you half of the piece of music, and you'll see what I mean, because today's song is Shine On You Crazy Diamond by Pink Floyd. Now, this song, Shine On You Crazy Diamond, is basically the Wish You Were Here album. Wish You Were Here album has the first side is Shine On You Crazy Diamond, parts 1 and 5, which is what this is. Parts 1 through 5 is what this is. And then the next song on the album is Welcome to the Machine. And then side 2 is Have a Cigar, Wish You Were Here, and Shine On You Crazy Diamond, parts 6 through 9. Okay? This song is about a 25-minute long piece of music when you put it all together. This is just parts 1 through 6. You've probably heard this song before, JJ. You just didn't know what it was.
This is an incredible sales pitch you're putting for this song out there. It's only 25 minutes long.
This is only, I don't remember how long this one is, but this is not from Wish You Were Here.
11 minutes and 45 seconds.
Okay, well, this song is from the live CD that came out in the 90s called, or 80s or 90s, called Delicate Sound of Thunder. Okay. Yeah. Excellent live Pink Floyd CD. That and Pulse are probably the greatest things, and Live at Pompeii are probably the greatest things ever produced. But if I know you're not going to listen to it, so I'm specifically talking to everyone else. I mean, I've known you for a couple of days.
I played a little bit. Listen, next week we're gonna do copyright test week, and we're gonna play songs on the show.
We're gonna do copyright test
just a little bit so that we can get some commentary. I think it's fair use, and we'll see how much pushback we get on YouTube.
Well, let me tell you, this song right here is one of my son Alex's, who is an unbelievable musician, plays guitar, keyboard, drums, saxophone, all kinds of stuff. Whatever he decides to play, he plays it.
Sure.
And I told him years ago, I was like, dude, you need to put on a pair of headphones, lay on your bed, listen to Shine On You Crazy Diamond. It's such a beautiful, calming, spiritual piece of music. It's so wonderful. And this is one of his favorite songs of all time now, years later. He's like 16, fixing to be 16 years old. He's like, oh, Shine On You Crazy Diamond's great. I'm just telling you, this is an excellent song. I consider it my number 2 favorite piece of music of all time. This piece of music never ceases to move me when I listen to it.
I wonder, I honestly, I don't think I can rank songs like that. I think I understand. I have basically like I don't like it or I like it, I like it or no. So I don't have a gradient scale too much.
No, my scale would make you bored. You'd start yawning like I do when you start talking about freaking politics. I don't care.
All right. Well,
so if you just, I'm gonna see what Deacon's craziness is all about and listen to that song. You really might enjoy it. It's a very beautiful piece of music. There is a guitar solo from David Gilmour. There is a keyboard solo from Richard Wright, and at the end there is a freaking saxophone solo. I don't know who plays saxophone. The Pink Floyd was not just 4 members. There were like 16 freaking people on stage. All right, with all kinds of instruments and percussion.
Team sport. Pink
was
Floyd
awesome.
was a team sport.
Awesome. So I don't know who played the saxophone, but unbelievable saxophone solo at the end of the song.
All right. Okay, folks, that's your music segment. Now we're probably going to move the music segment to a different point in the show. I don't know. Look, we're being experimental right now. Deacon's got some stuff he was working on audio wise this morning. That's going to be fun, but we're going to wait like a week to do that. He has a soundboard to do sound effects now. It's gonna be cool.
I've got some really cool clips that I could play to test my soundboard.
And we are scheduling a super important interview. So you guys want to be here for that.
Yeah. Trying to get the interview scheduled. Our first interview. And so we wanted to make the first one super huge.
Right.
And Dave's not really an interview. Dave's
he's I would say that he's a cast member. He's a let's see, he's a recurring character on the show.
He is a recurring character.
All right. So look, there's a bunch of news that happened yesterday. Some of it's awful, bad stuff. Some of it I just like, like there's the shooting yesterday. That's terrible. That was probably like a gang thing. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
See, you got your comment thing up there. It's probably like a gang thing. We'll see. I don't know. We're not going to really comment on that, especially while it's still unfolding. So that's real bad. So I'm checking the news this morning. I'm like, what is interesting enough to be a headline? And then I saw this. I saw the picture and the headline before I read the title, the byline title, and I immediately knew who wrote it. But you wouldn't know that. So here, let me pull the bleep 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 blop up. Australia is the Parliament, Australia Parliament, which is the equivalent of a Congress in Australia. They passed a motion calling for Julian Assange to be returned to Australia instead of extradited to the United States of America.
Okay.
So if you know who Julian Assange is the founder of WikiLeaks. And way back in 2012, or maybe before that, he released documents related to the Iraq war. And basically he leaked information that was like, your governments are full of shit and they're conspiring against you. And ever since then,
all the governments have said that he's the most evil man on the face of the planet. Edward Snowden.
Yeah, they're trying to get their tentacled, manacled things around him.
I'm noticing a pattern here.
Yeah. He retreated into the Ecuadorian embassy in London and was there for like 8 years or something like that. Yeah. And then finally, the Ecuadorian embassy kind of bumped him out. He was living in a closet, like for real, for 8 years. Just trying, because if he gets arrested on these rape charges, he will get extradited to the U.S. and then he will disappear into the American gulag. Yeah. He will have an accident and he will fall down the stairs into prison and get shivved.
There was a really cool story about Edward Snowden, an article I read that was an interview with his lawyer, one of his lawyers, and they were talking about like 2 to 3 weeks after he had released all that information. He was living in China, but he was living in the slums of China where all of the immigrants live that are trying to get into China. See, China differs from the United States as where they rarely let anyone in and let them be citizens. So there are all of these people that are waiting to become Chinese citizens. And then there's all these lawyers over there that I hate to use, for lack of a better word, prey, but use and these people as clients, to fund their, I am a immigration lawyer kind of stuff. And that's what this guy knew, that he was an immigration lawyer for these Chinese immigrants that were trying to get into China, or these immigrants that were trying to get into China. And he and Edward Snowden lived with those people for like 2 weeks and couldn't speak. Yeah. So this kind of crap is not movie storylines as much as it sounds like it.
No, I mean, like, this is straight up, like, oh, that's a crazy story. No, the United States is trying to get this guy, and
they said what was those charges that he said that they? It's like, it was the rape charges, didn't they say it was a rapist
rape
or something?
Charge, and it wasn't even in the UK or the US. It was like in Iceland or Greenland or something, and there's like very little, or like basically,
it was one of those that was like, what? I don't think so.
It's probably just a pretense, because no charges were filed in Iceland whenever it happened.
I think he was just called a rapist, and the media picked up on that he was a rapist. No charges were ever filed or anything was ever done.
Yeah, I don't think
I'm not sure on that. So I may be completely wrong.
Yeah, I'm not sure. What I am sure of is that the dude spent years living in a closet in the Ecuadorian embassy, and has since been in prison since 2019 in the UK, fighting extradition, because if he gets extradited to the United States, he's probably going to get murdered. Really. So as soon as I saw this headline, I was like, because this is scanner.news. Scanner.news is formerly Timcast News, scanner.com. As soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, I know exactly who wrote that. And you can see the byline. It's Cassandra McDonald. Cassandra McDonald is dope. You should follow her on Twitter or x.com. She is Cassandra Rules. Go follow her. She is awesome. She is like anti-war. But she has been advocating for Julian Assange to get freed for years.
Yeah, it was on suspicion of rape, and the charges, the rape investigation was dropped a long time ago, like 5 years
Right.
ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's
5 years ago. It was dropped
there's no
5 years
charge.
ago. Yeah.
So he's being extradited for, this is entirely because of WikiLeaks, entirely because he dumped out information that
they didn't want you to know, that the
you're
squid monster did not want you to know.
government bad, trying to just manipulate stuff. And so let's see. It's not up to Australia to interfere in the legal process of other countries, but it is appropriate for us to put our very strong view that these countries need to take into account the need for this to be concluded. It's been like 12 years. It's been years. Regardless of where people stand, this cannot go on indefinitely. You can't have and it's taking this is crazy. This is crazy. Anyway, we'll see if one day we'll see if Julian Assange is liberated from being hounded by the United States.
Oh no, if he gets found, he is going to disappear, and in 30 years people are going to say Julian Assange, and people are going to say who?
Yeah, right.
That name sounds familiar. Didn't I hear that name 30 years ago one time?
Assange to be a new a verb. Okay, so here's our byline story of the day. Vladimir Putin says that Joe Biden is better for Russia than Trump because he's more predictable. Oh, what a sweet Valentine from Mother Russia with love. Russian President Vladimir Putin said President Joe Biden would be better for Russia than Donald Trump, calling him, quote, old school and, quote, predictable. Yeah, that's true.
That is kind of true.
Putin expressed his feelings about Biden in an interview with the broadcaster Rossiya, One TV. Biden is a more experienced, predictable person. He's a politician of the old school, but we will work with any leader of the United States who is trusted by the American people. When I met, during the interview, Putin also said he believes reports of Biden's cognitive decline to be overdone. When I met with him when I met with Biden in Switzerland, and it was indeed a few years ago, 3 years, even then there were talks about him being incompetent. I saw nothing of the sort. Yes, he glanced at his notes. Honestly, I glanced at mine too. There's nothing to it. Now that's 3 years ago. So, hey, look, what's good for Russia must be good for America, right? Right. And by the way, I don't really want to be an adversary to Russia. I don't want to be a buddy to Russia. I don't want to have anything to do with I don't want anything to do with them. Hearing a high-pitched noise when I talk. You hear a high-pitched noise when I talk? That's what Dave says. Deke, are you hearing a pitch?
Yeah, I am now. It's I didn't notice.
I wonder if it's my light.
Say it. Say something.
As the war in Ukraine drags on, Russian President Putin endorses.
It kind of was. No.
You think it was the light?
Turn it back on. Now talk.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the light. Yeah, it's the light. It's something with your.
Okay, I'll turn the light. I'll leave the light off.
Yeah, that's weird.
I got a face for dark TV anyways. Could turn the whole camera off. Here, let's do that. Even better. Even better.
Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm having a freaking kid emergency always happens. No, my son is one of these people that does not pre-plan anything in his mind. And he's messaging me, do you get off at like 11:30 before 11:30? And I was like, no, you know what time I get off work. And he was like, okay. I was like, do you need me? Yeah, I got to buy homecoming tickets today by 11:30 and I forgot. I just want to know if you could run me some money. I was like, can mom do it? Mom's busy all day. Son, I just typed, damn it. I just write, damn it.
On the air. Get in your bike and come over here and get cash. All right. Speaking of Donald Trump and Trump-related news, there is a report, apparently, Deke, you are aware that the Russia collusion investigation, Russia Gate, that was a hoax. right? That was not true. That was entirely fabricated. I'm sure you are aware. So there is a report apparently, and by the way, the way that happened was that the United States government asked our partners, UK, Australia, there's a few of them, hey, we're not allowed to spy on our citizens. Would you mind spying on some of our citizens for us? And they did. And then they reported that information back to the US. And then the FBI said, oh my God, our international allies gave us this information. This is highly suspect. We should investigate. And whoop-de-doo, now we have Russiagate. So the United States, in a corrupt fashion, investigated Donald Trump and leveraged powers illegally against him. So before apparent, so that's all the pretense. That's called Russiagate. If you're not familiar with that, that's Russiagate. And you heard Russia collusion from Representative Adam Schiff for years, and he was impeached on it and not convicted. Context. Apparently, the government is a little bit concerned that there is a 10-inch binder that contains the entire documentation of all of that. That's a big binder.
Actually, that's probably about like that.
Yeah.
That's about 10 inches, because that's about a foot right there. That's about
right.
10 inches.
Yeah. So the government is concerned because there apparently is a 10-inch binder that contains all the documentation of basically this illicit activity. Shouldn't have happened, but it's all documented in a 10-inch binder that was classified top secret. And before Donald Trump left office, he declassified it because he's the president and you can declassify things if you're the president, since all classification powers emanate from the office of the presidency. And now the government's actually kind of worried because the 10-inch binder is missing. They don't know where it's at. They don't know who's got it. And
it's Colonel Mustard in the library with the 10-inch binder.
There is some reports that perhaps the going into Mar-a-Lago to look for hidden documents, they were maybe actually looking for this 10-inch binder. So here we go. Where's the binder? That's the burning question. CNN says a binder CNN, the most trusted name in news, a binder containing highly classified information related to the Russia election interference went missing at the end of Donald Trump's presidency, raising alarms among intelligence officials that some of the most closely guarded national security secrets from the U.S. and its allies could be exposed. Sources familiar with the matter told CNN. That is always such a great line to put on your story. Somebody who didn't want to be identified, but definitely did substantiate some bullshit. Its disappearance has not been previously reported, was so concerning that intelligence officials briefed the Senate Intelligence Committee leaders last year about the missing materials and the government's efforts to retrieve them. In the 2 years since Trump left office, the missing intelligence does not appear to have been found. The binder contained raw U.S. intelligence the U.S. and its NATO allies collected on Russians and Russian agents, including sources and methods that informed the U.S. government's assessment that Russian President Vladimir Putin sought to help Trump win the 2016. Sources tell CNN. This is not true. We know that this is not true. Russia did not interfere with the election. Hillary Clinton and the Obama administration did. So we know it's not true. So I wonder who's got the binder. That's interesting. I wonder if it'll come out.
It's the giant squid monster.
Maybe could be. Well, no, the squid monster's looking for it. It wants it because it proves the squid monster exists.
I guess that's
they
true.
don't want
they
don't want that out there. I don't know if you put this under good news or bad news, but I think I know what you're gonna. I think I know. Idaho, the great state of Idaho, is advancing a new piece of legislation, a death penalty legislation for pedophiles.
Oh, yeah.
Victims forever live in fear of the release of their perpetrators, and many of these perpetrators are repeat criminals of this type of crime, said one of the co-sponsors. So, Idaho wants to make pedophilia a death penalty, and I don't think that's a bad idea. The recidivism rate of this particular crime is pretty terrible. Currently, only first-degree murder convictions can be sentenced to death in Idaho. There are some concerns that the proposal is unconstitutional, as the United States Supreme Court barred death penalties for child rape as part of Kennedy v. Louisiana in 2008. I did not know that. According to Cornell Law School, Louisiana charged a petitioner with the aggravated rape of an 8-year-old stepdaughter. He was convicted and sentenced to death under a state statute authorizing capital punishment for that kind of abuse. Reasoning that the children are in a class of special protection, the state court held this crime to be unique in terms of harm it inflicts on the victim. Anyway, so it was overturned. Wow, that's prohibited by the state court. So it may not be constitutional. Now,
may not be constitutional to do what?
It may not be constitutional per the Supreme Court for child abuse to be a death penalty capital offense.
Well, the Supreme Court has a good job of changing shit whenever they want to. So we need to change that, because we need to ask the majority of Americans what they feel about people that molest children, because you're right. They're not going to go to jail and get out and be like, I'm cured. I'm never attracted to a little girl or a little boy ever again. That does not happen. It doesn't happen.
They remain a persistent threat.
I don't care how much they go to counseling. I don't care how much that they have said that they have changed. I do not believe you. Period. I don't care. I don't care what anybody thinks about me for saying that.
Right.
I don't. So yeah, we have a history of changing whatever we want in this country. And if society, we're history. All I'm going to say is history has a tendency to repeat itself. And it's not just like we're going to repeat the 1300s. We repeat stuff throughout history.
Let me just ask you this. Should it be up to the states? Should it be up to the states, or should it be a federal law? I think it should be up to the states. I think this is exactly the kind of thing you leave to the states.
Yeah, because that's what they always, there's always a joke. It's like, don't ever commit a crime in Texas. That's the joke. That's the joke that the other states say. I don't know if they say that in Texas, but the other states, I've heard that a bunch, throughout. Don't ever commit a crime in Texas. They'll kill your ass.
I mean, yeah.
We were doing executions right over here across the lake for a long time. There's the Kentucky State Penitentiary. It's a castle. It looks like a castle, kind of, it's stone and it's over on the water. And it's really kind of cool. It looks like a castle. And not really. It doesn't look like a castle, but it's stone and old. And they were doing electrocutions over there. I remember going over as like the kids in the 80s and the 90s, and they would have like leather working stuff that the prisoners would make. And I had bought a leather wallet that was made by one of the prisoners, and it was a nice, good, sturdy leather wallet I had as a kid for a long time.
It's crazy.
I know.
All right. Well, I mean, I can, instead of being like 100%, like definitely do this, I'm a little bit, anytime it's like the state gets to kill citizens, I'm like, we should consider this a lot. But in the case specifically of like child abuse, I mean, I'll flip the switch for you, that's okay. That's okay by me. In other, so that's Idaho. So Idaho is making they're drawing a strict line there. Look, you can do a lot of other things, but not that. In another state though, Virginia, I don't know, maybe you consider this good news, because everybody needs healthcare. Don't you agree, Deacon? Everybody needs to have some kind of access to be able to take care of themselves. Yeah, right.
Yes.
So, so the Virginia Senate is passing a bill to give Medicaid-style health insurance to illegal immigrants. We can't just have people breaking into our country and not being able to get health care. A bill in Virginia is passed entirely along party lines on Tuesday to give illegal immigrant children access to the state-funded comprehensive health care coverage. The Cover All Kids plan still needs to be approved by the Democrat majority of the House. delegates before it. Democrat majority House of Delegates before the Governor Glenn gets to Glenn Youngkin's desk, where he will have the opportunity to approve or veto the plan. Virginia has about 251,000 illegal immigrants. Well, Virginia, you go ahead and pass that plan. Go ahead and pass that plan. And we'll make sure that, when we're prioritizing where we're sending illegal immigrants, we'll make sure that people with families and kids, they can definitely go to Virginia.
Virginia's for lovers.
Yeah, Virginia.
That's their slogan. Virginia's for lovers.
And, I got some bad news. We talked about Rachel yesterday. Remember Rachel Dolezal? Or you may know her as I think her name is Nikai Diallo.
I've got a picture of her next to my bed in a heart-shaped frame I bought at Walmart. Yes, I know who Rachel is. That's a stupid, asinine question.
Rachel. We mentioned yesterday that she had quit the Black activist game, was no longer president of the NAACP in Washington, and she had moved on with her life of pretending to be Black, and she is now a school teacher in Arizona. Was a school teacher in Arizona. Rachel, sadly, once the public found out that she had a OnlyFans account where she was doing performances for cash, she was dismissed.
No, she was fired.
She was fired. These.
Do you mean to tell me that elementary school and preschool teachers and after school instructors can't even do pornographic stuff on the side anymore? Right. Public pornographic stuff on the side. What kind of world are we living in, JJ?
The administration of the Arizona school had no empathy whatsoever that
Those
this poor
bastards.
Fraudulent woman needed to supplement her income by selling her
don't even just like
body.
Scroll up, because if the algorithm picks up what was written in that freaking Instagram, we're going to get kicked off. Because I read that story yesterday and I was scrolling through it in the phone, and those little pictures of her in the little lingerie with the Instagram. Yeah. I was wanting to read what the comments were. Don't read what the comments are. I'm warning you now. Don't look them up. Just take my word for it.
You really don't need to chase this story down.
No, you don't need to chase this story. Just take your Two Dads word for it. This one is a story that you need to get the Purell out after you read the story. Yeah. You just feel you're like, ooh, okay.
Throw a little bleach on your eyeballs. Yeah. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Here's the last thing. I'm just going to kind of cruise by this because I don't want to give these guys too much attention, but the United States Constitution was desecrated. Yeah.
I heard about this on Valentine's Day with red powder. So what did these morons, first I just got a couple of questions. What were they protesting? And
climate change.
They were protesting climate change.
Yeah.
And how could throwing a red dust on yourself and the Constitution bring attention to climate change? I'm asking a serious question. How do these people that glue their hands to these paintings over there overseas, what is going through their brain that makes them think the world is going to see and change and finally notice if I glue my hand to this and throw red powder? I'm not even making fun of these people. I'm genuinely curious.
I honestly think it's just like, I wish that people would give me attention. I want attention.
My
dad left home when I was 5. I never met
you're on the nose. You're right on the damn nose, man.
Now, folks, if you don't know, maybe you're overseas and you don't know, the Constitution is the cornerstone building block of our entire country. So by attacking that document, certain people might consider that like
treason,
a treason or
treasonous act,
an insurrection. You might say that's a sort of insurrection.
That could sort of be like an insurrection.
So I'm sure I'm not going to play what they had to say. Basically, they're like, this country's made for all people to be free, and we want that for the whole world. So clean air stuff. I'm like, okay, you guys are not doing. You guys are dumb.
Let's go back to your liberal arts class and
Yeah.
good luck. I hope you make an A on the paper that you're going to write about throwing red dust on yourself. Good luck.
All right. Well, that's all the political news.
I hope that gets you a managerial position at Burger King one day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Meanwhile, all of my people are going to be fixing your plumbing and air conditioning.
I wonder what the carbon footprint was for producing that dye and getting it transported and, all of that.
Yeah, there was one climate change thing I saw the other day. It was like, I'm so glad that Taylor Swift has spent however many billion whatever seeing her boyfriend for the past 3 months in her private jet.
Man, I've been hearing stuff like, Republicans are attacking Taylor Swift. Nobody cares about Taylor Swift. Why? I don't care about her. I don't care.
Because she inserted herself into the political framework by telling her cronies to vote. And when she did that, over 1 million 18 plus, between 18 and 20, whatever voters registered. And they keep touting that out. Ooh, look, all Taylor's got to do is say this. Of course, all Taylor has to do is say this, and all these people follow her. Do you know what lemmings are? Do you know that if you line sheep up, sheep literally follow the asshole in front of them? If you put sheep in a line, sheep will follow the asshole in front of them. And that's what I've always said. Well, you people are sheep because you follow the asshole in front of you.
People are they are tribal. I mean, we are.
And I'm not faulting that. Humans. It's humans. I'm just one of these people that thinks outside the box.
Okay.
And everybody else says, dude, put on your tinfoil hat.
All right. Would you like some good news?
Yes.
Here's some good news.
Yes.
The cast of Marvel's Fantastic Four has been announced.
Yes. And I know there's a fifth Fantastic Four member that's been teased.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm eager to hear about this. Pedro Pascal will be your new Mr. Fantastic.
So if Pedro Pascal is
a more Reed Richardsing looking genius in my life than this guy right here.
No, not really. But hopefully he does look good without the mustache as Reed Richards. My only question when they cast him as Reed Richards was, who's going to be the little orphan child that he escorts? Because he escorts a little orphan child in every single thing he does. Last of Us and, the freaking Mandalorian. So who's the orphan child? But I've got your answer. It's not an orphan child.
No.
Herbie was teased in one of the pictures.
Look at this.
Look right over there to the side. Over to the left is Herbie. So there's Pedro's little orphan child.
So this is, I don't know if this was a photo that got turned into a picture or whatever, or drawn in, because that kind of looks like a photo that's had an illustration layer go over it. Is this as big as I can make it? Okay, so this this is a picture of Ben Grimm, astronaut, in the background.
Right.
And then this is him now as the Thing.
Right.
And then I guess this is your Johnny Storm. This is your Sue Storm. This is your Reed Richards. This whole kind of aesthetic. But you see this Life magazine right here?
Yeah.
That is Richard Nixon on the cover of Life magazine. So this whole thing takes place like in the 1960s, 1970s.
Oh, okay. So it's like a okay.
Yeah, kind of like a retro thing a little bit. And here is the cast once again. So they from left to right, you have Reed Richards, Pedro Pascal. I don't know her name. I've seen her somewhere before. That's your Susan Storm. This is your.
Does it have their names underneath?
Yeah, it probably does. Let's see. Vanessa Kirby as Sue Storm, Joseph Quinn as Johnny Storm, and Eben Moss Barack as Ben Grimm. Now, I don't know the Johnny Storm character. Just from this photo, I wouldn't say that he is the like hot shot. You know, that's not.
Well,
I'm
he's got
picking on here,
facial
but I'm just saying-
hair. I mean,
Yeah, right.
you
Yeah, so
shave him down. He's
I just don't
probably
know who
going to
he
be buff. He's going to be having that charisma. You know, he might do a good job.
maybe so.
Sue, she doesn't really resemble a Sue Storm in my mind's eye.
Not right. Yeah, she's a little too. I'm gonna
And
say
Ben
thin.
Grimm to me was always like the New York guy that was kind of big, broad shouldered.
So
you know,
this fella right here, you have actually already seen him in Marvel. Yeah, he did you watch the Punisher TV show?
Yeah,
he played Micro.
He is in that show. I thought his face does look familiar.
Yeah, he played Micro. So yeah,
so
Disney is gonna release the Fantastic Four in July 25th, 2025. And the Thunderbolts movie that I'm sure you're just chomping at the bit to see a Thunderbolts movie.
I liked the Thunderbolts, to be honest. I will probably watch that one. I liked the Thunderbolts. I liked Warpath. He was in the Thunderbolts, wasn't he?
That's an X-Men character, isn't it? Isn't Warpath a X-Men character? Thunderbolts had like oh
no, I'm thinking of a different team. Oh yeah, the Thunderbolts.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was like criminals pretending to be heroes. So you had Deadpool pretending to be Hawkeye, and not Deadpool. Sorry, you had Bullseye pretending to be Hawkeye, and you had
Baron Zemo.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So Thunderbolts.
Okay.
So
I was thinking of a different something else.
Yeah. Okay.
I was thinking of Thunderbolt maybe.
So that's pretty good.
Okay. I have a comic book story for you that I didn't even put in the thing, but I posted yesterday. If you'll go to our Discord server and go down to Geek Talk, I posted this, and this was really interesting. This is one of those TikTok videos that come up that's like, I didn't notice this until blah, blah, blah. And I kind of like those because these people pick out stuff from movies that you've seen and whatnot. Hang on. Let me freaking, it's wanting me to put together puzzles to make sure I'm not AI. Here you go. Look at this, JJ.
Watching the new Deadpool trailer frame and notice this. So in this trailer, we see Deadpool on this Mad Max looking planet. But towards the end of the trailer, I noticed this. This is Goliath, which makes this world most likely the Void from the Loki series. But do you realize what this means? When Deadpool fights Wolverine and as he is laying on the floor, if you zoom in and enhance on the corner, you can spot this comic book with the name Secret Wars #5 on it, which features Dr. Doom, confirming that Deadpool is not only going to set up Secret Wars, but that Dr. Doom will be a major part in that. So the Void from Loki will become Battle World. And in case you didn't know, Battle World is the main setting of Secret Wars, in which all characters from all universes will come together in a gigantic royal battle. This means we will see all our favorite heroes coming back in probably the biggest crossover movie of all time. The MCU is back.
So that is the best theory I've heard yet, because you can bring back a young Captain America, you can bring back Tony Stark, you can bring back Gamora, all these people that died. It's a different universe, and you can bring in new people from the new universes.
Yeah.
This Deadpool is the
reset switch,
and they set it up with Loki.
Yeah.
So looking back now at their plan, pretty good, huh? And people bitched the whole time about this, and they bitched about this, and they bitched about this, but all those parts had to be put together in order to tell a story. Because when we all watch Empire Strikes Back for the first time, when that story ended, we're like,
right.
Sucks, man. It sucks, because we were not done with the story, and now this is kind of it's kind of making sense now. Yeah, of course you'd bring back Tony Stark. Of course you'd bring back Captain America.
Secret Wars.
Because that's true comic book shit. Oh, when somebody says in comic books, I thought he died. He did 4 times.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Doesn't that I think it's I don't know that I think it cheapens the it
does.
It cheapens it.
Unless it's unless they
I don't know.
Unless they tell it right. For me, I don't mind stuff like that. because I like the dimensional time travel, all kind of. I like that kind
Disney
of
is like, oh, we can make another. We can set ourselves up to make some more Iron Man movies and make some more money. Sure, I'm sure that's their, like.
I don't think they'll make another Iron Man movie, but I think they would convince him to come back for one more movie so that we could have Tony Stark and Captain America and all those old guys one more time, because that would be stupid not to try to capitalize on a product that you already have, that you've already closed the door on, but we have a chance to make more money off of it.
So this is the thing about comic books and movies too, especially when you introduce this element of, like, I think this whole like multiverse kind of era of Marvel has been a complete failure, really, because
I like it so far. I don't the story's not over. I like it so far.
It's just that in that it when you can like bring these characters back or bring back alternate versions of these characters or whatever, like there was
what if Deadpool in this movie,
like Tony Stark died and Gamora died, but now we have like
on this in that universe, and they have already addressed the universes many times. So in the adjacent, in the other universes, Tony Stark didn't die. Captain America is the one that died, or the Hulk is the one that died.
Yeah. But for the moviegoer, for the audience, they were emotionally invested in some characters, and those characters died on screen to pay a price for something to have value on screen. Like,
absolutely.
Right? And then
you are absolutely right.
Like, oh, well, we in a multiverse, whatever. Now they're back. You can watch them again. Like that.
No, that's not what they're doing.
It does.
I don't. That's not what they're doing. They capitalized on the fact that it drew out so much emotion, his death, that now it's been so long that they're like, we're gonna look, he's back. Oh, it's from another universe, but he's back. And the initial reaction.
Everybody loves seeing, like, Robert Downey is.
Let me bring up another thing about this Deadpool movie that I would love to see, if it is about switching, going through the different universes and stuff like that and trying to fix stuff. You have the possibility of seeing like the steampunk Marvel. You have the possibility of seeing Marvel zombies. You have the possibility of seeing like the medieval Marvel stuff and the old West Marvel kind of stuff that they've done in the past before. We have the possibility of seeing this. And they even took Marvel zombies and made some of those, didn't they make a what if cartoon about the Marvel zombies? I think.
And that was a good look. That cartoon, the what if series, the
cartoons were pretty good. Yeah, they were good.
Was good. It had zombies in it.
I was a what if reader. Yeah, I always read those.
Honestly, didn't like as much. There were a couple episodes that I was like,
I've seen it.
Well, I
don't think I've seen it.
Yeah, it's not as good.
No, well, we canceled our Disney Plus subscription, so it's not on my list. I don't give a crap.
Yeah,
I can talk to Blackbeard.
I honestly think the Deadpool movie is going to be good, in spite of the fact that it's made by Disney, because Ryan Reynolds is driving this ship. He's a producer on it.
Yeah, and he was very adamant about his first portrayal of Deadpool, and they just kind of. And he was a huge Deadpool fan. He's like, no, screw this. I'm going to do it right if I have to invest my own money.
Yeah.
And I think every comic book fan is very grateful of Ryan Reynolds because of that. Thank you, sir.
Disney is definitely using this to set up to tee up some fixes to their.
If Disney didn't make this movie like the other two Deadpool movies, exactly just because it's Disney, it would hurt their reputation so much more than it's already hurt. And it not only would hurt that reputation, it hurts the reputation of the Marvel products that are already have a taint and a stain on them, and people are tired of them. And it would hurt that even more if they were like,
you're right
we made this PG-13. Dude, that's a ripple that
but I see
is going to keep on going.
I do not see this as Disney correcting their course. I see this as Disney maybe realizing, like, hey, we did some stuff that wasn't popular, like She-Hulk. People hated that show, and the Marvels. It was in theaters like 2 months ago. People didn't watch it. It's on Disney Plus now. I don't think people are watching it. In fact, we know that millions of people are canceling Disney. Disney is
we had
billions. Disney Plus is like billions of dollars in the hole, upside down. And so, like, the things that Marvel's putting out there, they're not landing. A couple of things have landed and kind of stuck pretty good. for instance, the Loki show, that ended pretty good. Okay. And then they did what? Ant-Man and Quantumania last year. That bombed.
Let me tell you, the problem with Disney is that if you would charge me $8 a month for the content that you have, I'd pay $8. I might pay $10 a month for the content you have, but you barely put any content on there, and the content you put on there was not worth it to me, you know. And I don't care. I'm a huge Marvel, huge Star Wars, comics, cartoons, you know,
Sure.
those they had all the National Geographic crap that I love. I watched that Incan City one, and I watched every one of them. If it's about elephants or animals, I'm watching it. It wasn't worth my time. It wasn't worth what I was. They kept the price kept going up and up. In this last price increase, I told Ashley, I said, do not continue to pay for that, because it's not worth it. It's not worth it. What I want to watch, I can either miss or get from Blackbeard.
You're not wrong about this. Okay. There is a lot of content on Disney Plus, but it's old.
It's fluff content.
Or it's not good. Netflix, or the new stuff is not good.
If you look up Netflix and it says Netflix has, 10,000 different movies. Oh yeah. Well, 3,000 of them are Indian movies.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, look, sometimes they're good.
I'm not saying that they're not bad movies, but I don't want to read a movie.
So
I don't want to read a book while somebody talks to me in Indian.
Disney Plus is charging to be like a catch-all, like all-purpose entertainment source. And if you're there because you got little kids, yeah, they got princess movies and stuff, but then you got to be careful because they got some other kids content on there that isn't appropriate. If you're there for Marvel content, it is not good. Yeah, you can watch all the old Marvel stuff, but all the new stuff the TV shows are not great. A couple of them are okay. A couple of them have a few good moments, but by and large, they're not hitting well and they're not landing. If you're there for Star Wars content, Mandalorian came out like 5 years ago, and the subsequent other series, they're not as popular. The sequels to Mandalorian, especially like season 3, didn't hit as hard. Ahsoka didn't really. It was okay, it didn't hit as hard. Maybe you're there for. So they're charging a lot of money, and you're getting a little bit of maybe whatever you're there for. So in your case, you're probably there for maybe Star Wars stuff or maybe some Marvel stuff, but you don't care about the princess cartoons. My kids are there for the princess cartoons, and they don't care about any of that other stuff. So you're right. It's very expensive for how much you're getting out of it.
Pull that Fantastic Four story. You still got that?
Yeah, it's still up here.
Pull that back up and look at that guy.
Which guy?
Oh,
this guy right here. Yeah, Dave says
Johnny Storm.
He's from Stranger Things.
That's Eddie. Is that Eddie?
Eddie Munson?
Yeah, that's Eddie Munson with the long hair. It played the freaking Master of Puppets.
I don't think I've seen all of the
oh dude, hang on.
I haven't seen it all.
He was one of the most popular characters of that TV show, of that season. He was.
I kind of like the idea of this taking place in the Nixon era, like being an older show.
Eddie.
Yeah. Okay.
He was a great character. He was the character at the end that you're just like, I love that guy.
I only watched the first season.
Oh, well, he was one of the main. They have different people they have the same cast of characters in the seasons, but they have other reoccurring characters that come in and out. You know that.
Yeah.
And he's the one from that season, and he was great. Everybody loved him.
All right. Well,
all right, that's cool.
It's we're getting to the end of the show.
Yeah, I'm sad that we didn't get to talk about the trans story this morning, but oh well.
Oh yeah, did I not? I forgot to bring that up. Which one was that? What was it? I know I put it in there, but I forgot to put it in my.
I didn't read the headline. I just saw the picture and skipped over it. I'm sorry. I'm an asshole like that.
Oh, let me go back up because I want to see if. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
So you'll have to tune in tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use that picture for the title tomorrow. If nothing else happens.
You know what? Let me pull this up real quick. And the reason is Do Good Dogood it produced this story. He sent it to us. So
okay.
So we have to cover it. I forgot entirely about this story. Dogood sent this in. Let me bring that over here. We may have covered this story quite some time ago. I don't recall. I'm sorry. I'm looking for the share page again. Here it is. Okay. A judge has ruled, quote, it's a wash in a Pontiac court battle over a transgender woman's testicles. Yeah. A district court Wednesday denied a pair of dueling small claims petitions that centered around a transgender woman's attempt to get her surgically removed testicles back after they were kept for months in her ex-boyfriend's refrigerator. So this dude had his balls in another dude's refrigerator and he wanted them back. And dude number 2 was like, nah, you can't have stuff out of my refrigerator. And the judge said, this is totally pointless. So I think one of the claims was that once the story broke, the man was publicly humiliated. William Wachigabjansha said he threw away the surgically removed testicles of Brianna Kingsley, a trans woman who was seeking the human remains and $6,500 in the 50th District Court. So he said, hey, bro, I threw your testicles away. I threw your balls. I don't got them. To which the man was sued for saying, like, you embarrassed me in public media for telling people that my balls were in your refrigerator. So thank you, Dogood, for producing that segment. That's international news. And by the way, this didn't come out of Michigan. This didn't come out of he got this in news in Germany.
He said, I got this from a German newspaper.
He said it was printed in a German newspaper. Oh my God. All right. It's hilarious. Folks, if you get your balls cut off, it's up to you to make sure that you store them safely.
I know. I mean, seriously, I know where my balls are at all time. Ashley keeps them right there beside her bed in a little jar. I know exactly where they are. All I got to do is look right over there.
Make sure you get documentation that you have visitation rights with your balls.
Yeah, every once in a while, I pick up the jar and I jiggle them a little bit in the water, and they kind of float around. It's interesting.
Just miss you guys. All right. Hey,
all right, let's get to real jokes.
Here we go. We end the show every day with a joke. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. You see?
Yeah.
I can't rub his. Oh, here.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, here we go. Okay, and look, I'm making a plea to all of our people to please send in
better jokes,
good dad jokes for JJ, and tag him on every one of them, just at JJW, and then tag the joke so he can have them. Maybe we need to start a channel that says JJ's jokes.
Don't use it very much. We have a joke channel.
We do have, but we don't.
Yeah.
All right, what's your joke today?
You ready for this? Why did the kindergartner bring a ladder to school?
I feel like I've heard this one before.
Yeah.
I don't know the answer.
Why did the kindergartner bring a ladder to school? Wanted to go to high school.
Oh,
that's fair. That's fair. That's fair.
Response.
That's fair.
You people are correct. All right, so Ashley, yesterday was Valentine's Day, and Ashley asked me, we went out to dinner, like I said. Have a day, folks. Ricochet, you have a day as well, my brother.
All right.
So it was Valentine's Day. Ashley and I, we went out to dinner, and after dinner, she asked why I didn't buy her flowers.
Yeah.
To be honest, I didn't even know she sold flowers. So, I mean, I would have. I didn't even know.
How are you supposed to know to buy?
I didn't know she sold them.
Makes sense.
Exactly.
All right. Hey, thanks for watching. Check out this cool video, y'all.
Word.
Politicians heads lying left and right. You can help us bring back the light. Don't let your daughter lose her next swim meet to a psychopath dude with fake teeth. Tune in now to your